Let's make it a good day.
Coming up today, Sarah Jessica Parker is responding to fans that want to know what's going to happen to Samantha in the Sex and the City reboot. Then, Holy Saint Elmo's Fire. Rob Lowe is joining us live to talk about the new season of his hit show on Fox.
By the way, Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
And it's TV history. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of All in the Family. How the bunkers broke barriers and changed television forever. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. We are live from our studios in the Twin Cities. Happy Tuesday. 3 out of 4 dentists call this the most productive day of the week. I don't know about that. Welcome to the Jason Show. I'm Jace. Please say hello to my sidekick sister from another mister. Ladies and gentlemen, America's favorite cowgirl, Kendall Mark, everybody.
Moi?
Yep.
Oh, the nicest thing anyone said to me all day.
How you doing?
Good. I would disagree. Today, not that productive.
You're not going to be productive?
No, I just think in general, to me, the most productive day of the week is Thursday.
Why?
I feel very strongly that by Thursday, you're really trying to wrap everything up before Friday so you can really just coax into the weekend.
I give up by Thursday.
Oh.
I'm done. I think we're kind of checked out. Right? Adam, Tyler, Jeff, we're all kind of checked out by Thursday.
Explains a lot about this show.
Yeah, I know. Watch Friday's episode. You can just see him. No, but I'm with you. I don't know if I would agree today. Tuesdays are the most productive.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know why they say that.
I don't either.
Yeah, I know. I had a woman, by the way, as I'm touching this mug. I had a woman. I will never not be amused by the questions we sometimes get. Because, things I don't think about, but as people watch, hello. This very sweet woman why does Jason have an Oprah mug? She's probably wondering why, because it's the Jason Show. Why do I have the Oprah Winfrey Show mug? There it is. Right. You know why? Because it's from my beloved executive producer, Jeff. That's right. It's a beloved gift. He knows I love the Oprah Show, and this is a real Oprah Show mug. That's right.
Wait until she finds out you have the chairs.
Oh, I know. I do. Some woman told her, we have 2 chairs that Jeff stole from the Oprah audience. He ripped them right out of Harpo.
He just grabbed them and manhandled them out of there.
Speaking of that, I'm going to need a special chair today. I'm a little sore, and it's all your fault.
Please explain before someone gets the wrong idea.
Yeah. I don't think anybody in the audience would get that idea.
Not like that.
I don't think anybody watching would ever get that impression.
Sorry, Mom, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, anyway. We're going to go to church after this. No, Kendall made me go cross-country skiing yesterday for the first time ever. And here's what I learned. And in the television business, we call this viewer benefit, which means you're going to benefit from a piece of information I give you.
Please.
Cross-country skiing, if you haven't done it, is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not kidding. This is what I thought it was going to be. Ready?
Uh-huh.
No. It is a lot of coordination that I do not possess. I looked like a confused gay cat on roller skates. Little gay kitty. This leg didn't know what to do with this leg.
Uh-huh.
I had these Gandalf, these poles
Yep.
that are like wizard staffs, and I had to coordinate the staffs with the skis.
Uh-huh.
I went cross like this.
Uh-oh, big no-no.
That was, I was warned. Then he said, and get ready, he goes like this, would you like to go down a hill? No, I would not like to go down a hill. So we took my skis off.
You took the skis off?
And I walked down the hill. Yeah.
Please tell me that's on tape.
All of it's on film. When is this airing, Jeff? Next Friday it's going to air.
God.
Not this Friday, next Friday. So set your DVRs in TiVo. Does TiVo still exist?
I thought that's what you called
Tyler,
it.
you have a TiVo? Okay.
I thought that's what you...
It's newer.
Yeah.
I have an old I was watching an old Sex in the City, which we'll talk about in a matter of seconds here. And Miranda had trouble with her TiVo. And I thought, is TiVo even around anymore?
I thought that's what you called it when you recorded something on the TV.
No.
Oh, it's like an actual thing.
TiVo was a brand of DVR.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
See, again, Kindle benefit. We had a viewer benefit, but no, all kidding aside, the cross-country skiing is great. It was a way bigger workout than I thought. You use every part of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like using chicken for soup. You use every part of that bird. They used every part of this bird right here.
They did.
Yeah. It's a horrible analogy. And it's not a good analogy, and it was horrible. But anyway.
The gizzard and everything.
Everything. Let's get started, everybody. It's time for the hot dish. Here we go. Roll it, Leo. Woo. What's happening with our applause today? The applause button's down.
It's in our ear.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yesterday, we talked about the big news surrounding the Sex and the City reboot. They're calling it, and just like that, not surprisingly, Kim Cattrall, as we told you, is not among those coming back. SJP posted the trailer on her Instagram and apparently read some of the comments. When people asked about Kim, SJP said, because someone's like, I heard you don't like her. And SJP said she didn't dislike her, but Samantha isn't part of this story, but will always be there. That's what she wrote. When asked if Samantha will be recast, she said, we have new stories to tell. So that wasn't a real answer.
No.
About the recasting. So we can't X that out. Hashtag Sharon Stone. But I think it was, it's a no-win situation for SJP because no matter where you are in their fight, and I think the truth is in the middle. I think SJP did and probably said things that she regrets over the 6 years, and I'm sure Kim Cattrall behaved in a way that she probably regrets. I think the truth of the demise of their friendship is somewhere in the middle, but no matter where you are, it's a no-win situation for SJP. Because if she doesn't answer, it reinforces the rumors. And if she does answer, people go, oh, well, that's not an F.
Yeah.
It's my typewriter.
I always love the typewriter that goes the wrong way.
But I think she handled it the best she could.
I do too.
She handled it with class.
Very PR.
Very.
Kind of lead you to want to watch it, plus not say anything negative or positive, and just.
And I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole because we have other good stories, but I just want to end with this. I read a lot of criticism yesterday about the reboot. Should it happen? Should it happen without Samantha? And there was a writer in Vanity Fair that made a really good point. And they talked about the purpose, not the purpose, but the main thing about the original Sex and the City show. Before that show, you really never had a television program that showed women talking about sex the way guys do. That's really what that show did. It broke that ceiling. And the most sex-forward character was Samantha. So how do you do Sex in the City in 2021 without that character? And that was the point this writer made. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe that's not the story to tell in 2021. You've already broke that barrier.
Right.
Sex in the City already did that. So maybe that's why we maybe don't need... I love Samantha, don't get me wrong. But maybe that's why the 2021 stories, maybe that's not a barrier we need Samantha to break. Maybe they're going to do a barrier that we don't need Samantha for.
I had so much fun watching her character, though, in the two movies, and the way she dealt with her sexuality as she got older. It would have been so fun to watch.
Yes.
So.
Next on the dish, it was a new era of Jeopardy yesterday. This is Jeopardy. But for the first time in more than 36 years, there was a host other than Alex Trebek. Ken Jennings took over as guest host this week and opened with a tribute. Look at this, friends.
Here is the guest host of Jeopardy, Ken Jennings.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to Jeopardy. You know, sharing this stage with Alex Trebek was one of the greatest honors of my life. Not many things in life are perfect, but Alex did this job pretty much perfectly for more than 36 years, and it was even better up close. We were dazzled by his intelligence, his charm, his grace, really. There's no other word for it. Like all Jeopardy fans, I miss Alex very much. And I thank him for everything he did for all of us. Let's be totally clear, no one will ever replace the great Alex Trebek. But we can honor him by playing the game he loved. Jim, Tanae,
and then they're off to the races. The good ones always make it look easy. And what I mean by that is, and I've referenced this usually when about Oprah, when we talk about a talk show that's failed, the good ones in any craft make whatever they're doing look easy. Oprah made doing talk shows look easy, but it's not. Alex Trebek made hosting that show look easy, but it's not. There are nuances to hosting that show that we as the audience can't and shouldn't have to think about. You know, the rhythm. When do you introduce the contestants? When you come out, where do you stand? And I know you're thinking to yourself, oh, that's silly. But it's all those things that go into perfectly hosting that show that Alex did so well. And I say all of that because for episode 1, Ken did a really nice job. Mm-hmm. He did it.
I thought that tribute in itself, you could tell he
choked up.
Yeah, he was holding it back a bit, but he was very professional and very articulate, and so. We
call it read style in news. How an anchor, when they're doing news, how an anchor reads a story. You know, do they have a fast read style like Ken has appeared on the show more than 100 times as a contestant? You know, do they have a good cadence? Ken had a great read style. He had a good rhythm. He was kind of joking with the contestants. He needed to raise his voice a little bit. He was a little quiet at times. But for day 1, bravo, you know? And we were saying this, right? We're going to go to commercial, but right before. You never want to be the guy that replaces Alex Trebek. You want to be the guy or gal that replaces the guy or gal that replaced Alex Trebek.
Touche.
You don't want to come in like, you don't want to be you don't want to come in after Johnny Carson.
No.
You want to come in after Jay Leno leaves The Tonight Show for the 3rd time. You want to be that guy, you know?
Wait, don't we not want to be that guy? It didn't happen very well for Conan.
Well,
right?
It didn't end very, you know. I want my job back. Yeah, anyway, Ken has appeared on Jeopardy more than 100 times as a contestant. Hey guys, go get another cup of coffee in your Oprah glass because we have a lot more to come right after this. We're just getting started. Coming up next, no need to call 911. Help is already here. Rob Lowe is joining us live to talk about the new season of 911 Lone Star. Then, it's one of the few shows that really made an impact. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of All in the Family. And is The Bachelor still hitting all the right notes in week 2, or are we already in choppy waters? Ted will have a recap. That's all coming up when The Jason Show continues.
Yesterday, for the first time ever, an NFL game was broadcast on Nickelodeon, which meant that there were some changes to the broadcast, including the addition of virtual slime cannons.
Of course, a touchdown today. Breeze over the middle. It's Thomas. He dances his way into the end zone. New Orleans is on the board first.
There we go with the slime cannons. Hey, that is epic.
And then, on top of that, whenever there was a penalty, young Sheldon would pop up and explain it.
Saints.
False start.
And it is.
Offense number 51. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
A false start. That's when an offensive player illegally moves after lining up for, but prior to, the snap. Like when my dad starts shoveling in dinner before mom says grace.
Meanwhile, on the NFL game on Bravo, instead of Gatorade, the players doused their head coach with a tub of cheap red wine.
No. James Corden talking about the first ever NFL game on Nickelodeon. Kendall, you got to help me out on this. Not a sports fan.
Yes.
That would seem irritating to me if I was a sports fan.
Okay, so I watched the game in real time on the real network it aired on. I can't remember which
CBS.
of the ones. Thank you. So they kind of were talking about it during the game, and I was like, that's interesting. I've heard a lot of folks that have kids that are sports fans really liked it because they were like, this is a way my son or my daughter and I could watch the game where they were entertained and still watching the game with me.
Got it. Okay.
So I think it's kind of cool, and then having someone explain to you what different things mean. I've always said, I think more women would like sports if someone would just tell them, this is what this means. Not dumb it down. I hate that phrase, but just explain it.
Yeah, I don't mind I don't want young Sheldon doing it. But I wish, somebody could pop up like Tyler or somebody that watches and just go, hey, Jason, this is what this means.
Right.
And then, like a little turtle, and then he goes back down.
Exactly.
Because I don't understand all the terms.
I had that in a father growing up, which is why I love sports, because I would just ask him, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And he'd tell me. And then,
My dad didn't talk to me from like 85 to 89, so I didn't have that. More late night, Bill Burr was on with Fallon last night. The comedian has appeared in the Disney Plus hit The Mandalorian and talked about what it was like being in the Star Wars universe. Look.
I heard that some fans were like, hey, why does he have a Boston accent?
Oh, I know, that's hilarious. I've never heard a Boston accent in outer space is what they say. And I always just go like, oh yeah, what about English? Isn't that a little weird if you went to a galaxy far, far away and you get off and somebody's like, hey, how's it going? And you totally understand them. What about the fact that Han Solo's talking to a Bigfoot? He's speaking Bigfoot, Han Solo's speaking English. They never break character. The one keeps going, and he's going, I said hit the button, Chewie. And that was all fine. None of that. How about C-3PO with an English accent? That was okay? The guy been knighted? He just played Royal Albert Hall and now he's hanging out with I almost said Leonard Skinner. Luke Skywalker?
Leonard Skinner.
He makes a good point. I mean, think about it.
Right.
He does. Bill appeared in The King of Staten Island, too. He's good in The Mandalorian. He's really good.
I still haven't seen it. I do need to watch it. I know.
You do. It's just, again, you don't need to be a Star Wars fan to just enjoy the fact that it's a great television program. It's like a Western in space with various accents, British and otherwise. But he's right. Wouldn't that be weird if you did go out in outer space and you landed on a strange planet and the first person comes up to you, hello? It would be a little weird.
I know. They'd be like, would you like a pint?
Yeah.
You'd be like,
would you like a crumpet?
Pass right out. Pass right out right there.
Do British folks really eat crumpets?
What's a crumpet?
A crumpet is a fancy English muffin with less holes.
Stop it. It is not.
Yeah. Google crumpet right now. You'll see a picture of it.
That is the dumbest thing ever. I thought it'd be way cooler than that.
Why do you have to hate on the crumpet?
Well, I'm going to look it up.
I mean, we're a positive show. Only I'm allowed to complain about things.
It is. It's an English bagel.
Okay, did she think
English
I was...
muffin.
Yeah. Wish we had a light bulb sound effect.
You guys, that is the lamest thing ever.
Yeah. Next in the dish. We're learning who's going to play Lucille Ball in the upcoming I Love Lucy biopic, or as my friend Julia calls it, biopic. Nicole Kidman will play the iconic actress. Cate Blanchett was originally rumored to be in the running for the lead. Javier Bardem will play Desi Arnaz. The movie's called Being the Ricardos. It's written and it's going to be directed by Aaron Sorkin from The West Wing. It'll be set during one production week of I Love Lucy. The two face off, face a crisis that could end their careers and their marriage. I'm going to nerd out a little bit later with All in the Family. Okay. But I will say this, you know, when people think of I Love Lucy, they always think of Lucy, obviously. But the truth of the matter is, the force behind the force was Desi Arnaz. All of, think of Young Sheldon, not so much Young Sheldon, but all of the sitcoms you used to watch as a kid, Home Improvement, in front of a live studio audience, all of that whole structure was created by Desi Arnaz. They call it the 3-camera sitcom. Desi came up with that. Lucy was in front of the camera, but all of that kind of stuff was Desi Arnaz. He developed, they had a production company called Desilu that produced shows like Star Trek in the 60s. I mean, he was a force to be reckoned with. Now, as far as this movie is concerned, I think there are some pop culture figures that are near impossible to play. Marilyn Monroe is one of them, and I think Lucille Ball is one of them. And I feel bad for any actress that tries to do those two women. So I don't know how Nicole Kidman's going to play Lucy, because she's so indelible. She's so in our quilts of our lives that there's no replacing them. Everybody's irreplaceable, but probably Marilyn and Lucy.
Right. What do you call that when someone has that something and you can't quite name it?
The it factor.
Yeah, she
has it.
Yeah. However, I'm very curious if they'll be looking at all into her private life of maybe not being the nicest person.
Yeah, do you mind telling that story? Because
yeah.
You know we love a good, dishy, behind-the-scenes story. Tell the folks.
Sid's watching right now. She had knee surgery, so she's like, I'm watching today.
I said,
okay.
Your mother.
My mother was a flight attendant for a very long time for Northwest Airlines, and she had Lucille Ball on a flight in first class, and my mom said she was so excited, but didn't really ever geek out over famous people. They were very common on flights back then. And she was the cruelest, meanest celebrity she ever met.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sid's right. I've heard that from more than just Sid.
Yeah.
Sid, not that I need a second opinion, but I've heard that from several people. Not the nicest woman in real life.
And did you know who the nicest celebrity was?
No.
Stanley Tucci.
Oh, really?
She said he was so kind and was just like, you know who I am? Thank you. You were just the nicest. Was like the best person.
I like that. I like Stanley Tucci.
Me too.
I said, next in the dish, we're getting a first look from the upcoming Kristen Wiig movie, Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. Let's look at the trailer.
Hey, Barb. Yes, Star. You know what I just love? What? Movie trailers. Me too. I like how they're little movies about another movie before a different movie. Sometimes I find myself watching a trailer for a movie while I'm watching a totally different movie. What? Me too. Barb, what if we had a movie? What? Then we'd have to have a trailer. Oh, yes, listen, I wouldn't want to give anything away, though, about the movie. Me neither, especially our faces. Gosh, I can almost...
In addition to Kristen, who plays Annie, or plays Star rather, Annie Mumolo, is that, yeah, Mumolo, whatever, plays Barb. She was also a writer on Bridesmaids. Jamie Dornan, remember Mr. Naked from 50 Shades? He's also in the movie. I think he rips his shirt open coming up soon here. The movie will be released next month. On streaming too. I don't know how to feel about this movie. I love that we don't know a lot about it, but it looks so nutter butters. It's either going to be fantastic or it's just going to be a dumpster fire of a trash box.
Oh, okay. Here's my thought. I think it's going to be, remember how the Adam Sandler style movies were so big in the 90s for a while, early 2000s, like that kind of humor?
Okay, I'm so curious of where you're going with this.
Okay.
Is this like your Fish in Italy story where it will connect, kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this style of movie is so out there and goofy, but is going to have this big cult sort of base around it that's going to love it and likes other movies like this that she's done.
Okay. Maybe.
Did it go together for you?
It did go together eventually, just like your Fish story. Yeah.
Yep. Just swim along with me.
So it's about two friends who leave their small Midwestern town and they go to vacation in Florida. And judging by the accents that they're trying, I think it's based in Minnesota. I think those two are in Minnesota.
I think Wisconsin.
You do?
Yeah, if they have a brandy old fashioned, we'll know. That's what they drink in Wisconsin. They drink it with brandy instead of whiskey.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
I know. I didn't know that. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, brandy old fashioned. Okay. You know, I've never had brandy in my life.
What?
Never
I'll
had
fix you a
brandy.
brandy old fashioned.
Well, let's wait till the show's over. I don't want HR calling us, but I mean, then we have to share, and I'm an only child. Next to the dish, 90210 star Brian Austin Green has apparently moved on from his ex-wife Megan Fox. Well, he should. She's moved on. He's now Instagram official with a new woman. According to the gram, as Ted calls it, he's dating. What kind of picture is that? And can I just ask, who took that picture? That's what I always want to know with pictures like this. Are they asking like the hotel maintenance folks to take? Hey, can you come over here and take this picture? He's dating Dancing with the Stars pro Sharna. Insiders say the two recently went to Hawaii together. Unclear how long they've been dating. He officially filed for divorce in November. Megan moved on, girl. She moved on like 2019. She went public with her new BF, Machine Gun Kelly. No, but seriously, Beck, who's taking that picture?
I always wonder that too. I'm like, do these people then ask
What?
them to reframe it?
A timer?
But like, where are they propping their phone up?
Yeah. That takes a lot of effort.
I mean, and you know that they've got like 75 different versions of that photo.
And can I tell you that if that was Colin, let me just tell you, this is how impatient. If Colin's like, let's take a picture, I'd be like, okay, I want to get down to the beach. Like, do we have to take a picture now? That would totally be me. I'm like, he's like, let me sit. No. Get the towel. Are you changed? Let's get down. We're not gonna get a chair. That would be me. We're not gonna get a chair at the bar.
Somebody already took my raffle ticket.
Yeah.
For the meat raffle.
I'm a joy to be with. Let me tell you. I'm a joy to be married to.
I think so.
It's no. Still ahead. We'll chat with Rob Lowe live about the new season of his hit show, but next. Matt's quest for love kicks into high gear, but can he get past all the drama? Producer Ted's going to recap week 2 of The Bachelor when we come back. Back in a moment. I would go. Come on. Go get...
Hi. Do you mind if we have a conversation outside? You can sit there and we can have a talk. I'm not going outside. It's freezing. We'll give you guys a moment. Okay. It's like you can sit there. Can I sit here? Sure, and I'll sit there. I don't want to sit next to you. All right. Victoria, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. And thank you. We can sit here. I accept your apology, but I think that we have very different realities of what occurred. You feel this way, and I acknowledge that you feel this way. And regardless of what happened... Well, like, if it didn't happen, why are you apologizing? Matt had mentioned that you think that I'm toxic and manipulative. I do think you are those things. I don't want to continue fighting. I'm not trying to fight either, but I think that, like,
I think that we can.
we're like oil and vinegar.
But I think that we can come to an understanding. I really do believe that we can if we try.
I don't care to, Marilyn.
I did not
This
say those
discussion,
things.
I need a break. You're too much for me.
We're like Crisco and Pam. It's oil and water. What did she say? Oil and vinegar? Well, yeah, actually, water and vinegar, they go together. There's a new villain in reality TV, and her name is Victoria. And those sleeves. She is one of the women vying for Matt's heart, and she can't be sent home soon enough. It's week 2 on The Bachelor, and the first dates are in the books. Is Matt getting any closer to finding his lobster? That can only mean one thing. Once again, roll it, Leo. It's time for America Loves Ted. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us from Bachelor headquarters is producer Ted Johnson. Ted, she's awful.
She might be one of the worst people ever on this show.
You know who she reminds me of, Ted? The entitled brat that snapped at Gayle King.
Yes.
You know, they both come from the same entitled. She just looks like she was given everything she ever, you know what I mean? Like a brat. Just
and
an
a little daddy hat.
Yeah. And Ted, don't ever put a clip in the show with sleeves like that again.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was part of it, and we have more of it, Leo. In case they missed it, Victoria is there. I mean, even the cameraman's trying to get him out of the frame. But here's the thing with Victoria. A lot of times these villains come on, and it works because they're horrible people, but it's believable that they could possibly win in the end.
Yeah.
This isn't believable. She doesn't stand a chance. She is just doing this. She is a plant to juice things up, to get things interesting. She needs to go.
Yeah, so you firmly believe that she's there just so goobers like you and I talk about her.
Yeah, she has no chance.
Okay, let's move on. I mentioned date 1's in the books. Bree, let's start with her, not the cheese, the woman.
So she was the first one out of the limo last week. She was in my top 4. So they did this date where they rode ATVs.
Oh my goodness!
Obviously he crashed it. So.
Okay, are they wearing helmets, Ted? I can't see. They are? Okay.
Yes, and then they snuggled after they crashed. But anyways, they had another good dinner date where they're talking about their families, getting pretty deep. I can see Bree going pretty far here.
Still?
Yeah. I think they share a lot of similarities, and I think she could be down the road.
Well, if you can survive an ATV rollover and hug afterwards,
yeah,
that's love, my friend.
Yeah.
Date 2, the group date, and I rumor has it that you had a problem with this.
Yeah. So the group date is another wedding date. Let's get all the ladies dressed up in their wedding gowns and, pretend to be, this is what we would look like if we got married.
Ugh.
I mean, come on. So here's the thing. I'm watching this date and I'm like, I've seen this before. So I come into work today.
Yeah.
And I summon the research team here.
Okay.
So I get, the Jason Show research team.
Ted, look at that animation. We spent a lot of money for that animation.
The award-winning Jason Show research team.
Yeah.
And I go through old seasons of The Bachelor.
Okay.
Or they do. And so here we go, Leo. Let's show. So we've got. Go to the next clip.
It's happening. There we go. There we go.
So here, last season of The Bachelorette, not even a year ago, Tayshia and Zach, they do this exact same date. Let's get dressed up and pretend like we're married. Then we go to Becca's season. Oh, let's get dressed up and pretend like we're gonna get married.
Lame.
Then we go to Ben Higgins season.
No!
Hey, we're in Vegas. Let's pretend to get married. Becca Tilley right there. Now we're not done yet. This one probably took the cake. This next one. So we've got Ben Flanick, remember that fake wine guy, Courtney Robertson. Hey, they actually almost got married right here, which was pretty awkward. So, yeah, why don't we try some different dates?
Can I ask you, did Victoria's dress have big sleeves on it?
No.
Okay.
But she did kind of weasel her way in and beg for a kiss.
Okay, we have, Jeff's telling me about 30 seconds. Date 3 with Sarah, quickly.
Sarah, look out. Look out, Sarah. She jumps her way into a front runner status. So here she's telling him about her dad who has ALS. Pretty heartfelt moment. And she could go far. She could go far. I don't think she's going to win it. I think she could be Bachelorette material.
Who went home?
Well, and here we go. It was a to-be-continued episode because Sarah, who already had a rose, passed out during the rose ceremony.
Oh, my goodness.
Does she survive next week?
Does she survive? I think we're not laughing at that, but kind of.
We would have reported that already.
We would have reported that. Ted, thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Ted Johnson from Bachelor headquarters. Still ahead, a big anniversary to talk about. What iconic TV show is celebrating 50 years when we come back? Back in a moment. She survived, I just found out. Welcome back, everyone. This is going to be fun. Today's a big day in TV history. 50 years ago, right now, well, tonight, but 50 years ago, a sitcom made its debut, changing television forever. Look at this.
From Television City in Hollywood.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And from that moment on, CBS, the network, and television would never be the same. And that's not an overstatement. That's the opening of All in the Family about a working class man, Archie Bunker, and his family. It wasn't a hit right away until reruns aired in that summer, helping it become the top show on television for the next 5 years. It was one of those rare shows, #1 in the ratings for 5 consecutive years. I referenced this earlier. It was filmed in front of a live studio audience. I always love hearing the announcers say that. And here's the deal with All in the Family, and I think it's fascinating for all of you to know, to give you some context. Before this show debuted on television, and specifically on CBS, they had a lot of what they called rural shows. They had Petticoat Junction, Beverly Hillbillies, Dobie Gillis, and Andy Griffith. All of these, again, rural shows that were top Beverly Hillbillies. They had top 10 shows. Follow me here. Top 10 shows. A new boss came into CBS, canceled them all. Canceled them all because he knew that the culture was changing. I mean, think of the late 60s. There was the counterculture, music was changing, culture was changing, Vietnam was raging. And he goes, I don't want to be known for these shows. I want to have more contemporary stories to tell. He canceled all those shows and put on All in the Family, which was so controversial. The pilot was, CBS put a warning on right before the show aired, and they hired a team of operators to answer phone calls at CBS headquarters to answer complaints that never materialized. The show over its run broke ground by handling issues that shows don't tackle now, and issues we're still tackling with: racism, homosexuality, women's liberation, rape, miscarriages, menopause, the Vietnam War. And it's funny, you could take a lot of the situations from All in the Family and place them square in 2021, and I don't know what that says about us. It was also one of the most spun-off shows in TV history. It spun off The Jeffersons, Good Times, Maude, a short-lived show called Gloria. It was just revolutionary, and TV was never the same again. And I find it fascinating that the language they used, you could, in the 70s, you couldn't air now. Archie said the horrible word about gays. He said you pick a word and Archie said it, but it was in service to showing the absurdity of racism and prejudice. You know, Archie, you were supposed to laugh at how absurd Archie's prejudices were, and that was the brilliance of the show and the brilliance of its creator, Norman Lear. Still relevant today. Happy 50th. All in the Family. Still ahead, everybody. Rob Lowe will join us live, and we're talking about the new season of his modern show, 911 Lone Star, when we come back. Back in a moment.
Fire is on a collision course with the city. I know you're exhausted, but we have one last shot to turn the tide. Let's go! After the year we've had, what else can we expect?
911, what's your emergency?
He's there to answer it. Rob Lowe is back as firefighter Owen Strand, responding to emergencies across Austin, Texas. The second season of the hit show 911 Lone Star. The new season features new players and plenty of new drama when it premieres Monday night right here on the FOX. Give it up at home for the star of the show, Rob Lowe. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, good to be with you guys.
Okay, now, Rob, I usually try to start an interview with a compliment, but I'm actually going to start this jokingly yelling at you because you have ruined becoming 50 for all of us mere mortals. You remember your Vanity Fair cover that you did at 50 when you were shirtless, you had 0.5% of body fat, and now as a guy approaching 50, I'm really mad at you. Like I'm a little mad at you.
Was that the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't have any more milkshakes? Was that the watershed moment for you?
That was the milkshake moment, Rob.
We all get there, man. We all get to that moment where we're like, put the pizza down.
I know.
But thank you. You're very nice. That Vanity Fair cover was a real moment. I trained for that one. You know, you gotta put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
To be on the cover of Vanity Fair.
Rob, what was it? You've done literally, I know this is a cliche, but you've done every type of role. We were discussing in the break. You've played the straight man. You've done the villain. You've done comedy. What was it about this that made you want to do it? What was in the script? What was in the concept? Was it the team behind the scenes? What was it?
It was two things. One was I loved the idea of playing a real hero. First responders don't wear masks or capes. They're not imaginary. They're not cartoon characters. They're real people, and they're out there in all our communities, and they kick ass every day. And to be able to honor them and to tell their stories was something I'd not had a chance to do and wanted to do. And then the main thing was this was a show from Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
And whether it's American Horror Story or Glee or any of the Nip Tuck, any of the great shows he's done, he always adds a really sort of weird, like, tone element. And I thought that doing a fireman show, which I grew up watching, I watched Emergency.
Yep.
You know, I watched Chicago Fire. This is different because it's Ryan Murphy. So there's always going to be that weird, it can be funny 1 minute and then really serious the next. And that kind of varied tone as an actor is really interesting to do.
Second seasons are always a little tricky because you have a great first season and the producers and you being one of them, you know, you try to raise the game just enough, you know, not losing the essence of what made the first season successful. So what in the second season are you most excited about?
Well, the biggest thing is we have two amazing new cast members. Gina Torres, who is just a stud. I mean, she's so heroic and believable as a paramedic. And we've done stuff where she and I are hanging 200 feet off the ground in a cell tower while we're being shot at. And believe me, there's nobody I'd rather be with than her. And then we're going to meet my ex-wife. And this is really special for me because I'm reunited with Lisa Edelstein, who was my love interest on The West Wing. And so Sam Seaborn from The West Wing gets his love interest back on 911. And of course, if you watched House, you loved her on House too. So we brought some real acting firepower to the show this year.
We have about 20 seconds left. I always like, with a guy like you, with the resume that you have, I always like to know this. What currently in 2021 do you get asked about the most on the street, in the Starbucks? What right now do you get asked about the most for whatever reason? The way pop culture is or whatever?
Well, here's the thing. I'm loving that people are actually asking about my podcast.
Yes.
It's called Literally. It's been out for about 6 months. And, you know, I interview all my pals in a way that no one's going to talk to Gwyneth Paltrow the way I talk to her because I've known her since she was 16. Same with Chris Pratt. And at the moment, that's the thing that people are like, I can't believe you got, you know, Magic Johnson to say those things or whatever. So I'm liking that people are liking that.
It's great, Rob. It is. I mean, it's not as good as your Vanity Fair cover, but, it's still really good. Thank you, buddy.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Rob Lowe, everybody. Don't miss the season 2 premiere of 911 Lone Star Monday night on the FOX. Seriously, though, if you're approaching he hasn't aged yet again. He hasn't changed since 1986. He really hasn't.
So pretty.
Oh, God, I hate him. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everyone. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm going to show you Leo. Can we take Adam's camera here? I mentioned Rob Lowe in that Vanity Fair cover, which he should be sued for because he looks too good at 50. Adam, let's get a shot here. We couldn't make a graphic quick enough. Poor Ted. That's the cover, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. That's 50 years old.
Bravo. Bravo, Rob Lowe.
I've never looked like that, and when I get 50, I'm not going to look like that. That's amazing. I don't know.
What did he call it, a milkshake moment?
Yeah, he said, put the milkshake down, Jason. It's more chicken fingers in my thing, but yeah, anyway.
Milkshake moment.
I like his hair, too, because, again, I'm going to grow the hair out, I think.
You're really going to do it?
I think I am. Well, because my hairstylist, she's been with me for 15 years. I called her Mermaid.
Yep.
Because she believed in mermaids. She went back out into sea, so she's gone. And I need a new stylist. I got to get this cut. So I think I'm going to let it grow the top of it. There's a guy on Chicago PD, Patrick something.
Patrick
he has hair.
Fluger?
Him!
My neighbor. That's the one that's my neighbor, my family friend.
Wow, hold on a minute. Why don't you pick up that name you just dropped? Anyway, I want to grow my hair out like his. It's a little long on top and still short on the sides.
Hey, he's got great hair.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think I could pull that off?
We can call him and see who does it.
You're avoiding the question.
I think you can.
I don't think we're friends anymore. You can stay connected with our show on social media. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you have to do is search for Jason Show TV. You can also follow our personal accounts too, Kendall Mark and Jason Matheson. We'll be back to wrap things up. Kendall will be gone, but it'll just be me next. You know him, really? Well, Kendall, do you think I could pull off this hair? I don't know. Welcome back, everybody. Time for the bubble gum goodbye in this bubble. You never know what Jeff has in here.
To be fair, I just made a face.
Yeah, you made a face. Okay, you ready, Kendall?
Yeah.
I love that these make you anxious.
I think it's such anxiety.
Never have I ever gone on a solo vacation.
No, I have never.
You've never gone on a solo vacation?
I've gone places for work completely by myself.
But never on a vacation?
No. No.
Oh, fascinating.
No. I mean, because I got married a couple years ago, and before that we dated. I just never have had really the opportunity.
Oh, okay.
As someone who would be confident doing that.
I went 3 weeks ago. I went, yeah.
3 weeks ago.
I went 3, yeah, I did a little weekend, and this has nothing to do with Colin. Yeah, I know thyself, I'm an only child. I lived by myself basically until I was about 34.
Right.
So I like my alone time. I crave it. I mean, when I get home, I don't want the dogs talking to me. I don't want you know what I mean? I just, it's a necessary part of me. So yeah, I like a good solo trip.
Do you have any advice for someone like me who's never done it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking if you're someone.
It is yeah. Just go with the flow. Don't overplan. That's a good vacation tip, whether you're with 4 people or just yourself. I went in loosey-goosey and had a delightful time. Whatever the day brought to me, I did.
Okay.
I didn't make reservations. I talked to folks. I didn't talk to folks. I took a big dip in Lake Jason. And it was glorious. Tomorrow on The Jason Show, we're talking live to actor Josh Brayton. The Minnesota native is one of the stars of the new Disney Channel show, Secrets of Sulphur Springs. That sounds like a subdivision. Plus, Leslie Miller is back with wines to try in the new year. Join us tomorrow. Right now, though, that is going to do it for us. Kendall, I've enjoyed working with you. I'm just joking. You'll be back tomorrow. That's going to do it for us. If you're a kid that's being bullied, you go out there and be yourself, because nobody can tell you that you're doing it wrong. Have a good day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.